Hey Book Dragons! I am here to do the Booktube Newbie tag. Now you're probably saying, I've been on YouTube for a really, really long time. Why are you doing this now? Because I'm doing a little bit of a rebrand. I've been on Booktube for about 7 to 8 years. I don't really know the exact number. But I am starting to sort of link all of my stuff together. I'm changing my names and everything so you guys can find me under mostly one name. So, hi, my name is Laura. This channel is going to be Laura's Bookish Life. That's going to be my handle on my blog. My Instagram is going to be Laura's Bookish Life 1, and my TikTok is going to be Laura's Bookish Life. Everything will be linked below. I'm going to make a link tree and my blog. Everything is going to be Laura's Bookish Life, except for my Twitter. But I just want to come on here and just sort of introduce myself, say what you can expect, talk about my upload schedule going forward. But yeah, I'm just going to talk to you a little bit about myself, and I'm going to do the Booktube Newbie tag just so you guys can sort of ask me questions. If you have any other questions, comment below. If you have any recommendations, videos you would like to see on all of my various platforms, please comment below. I would love to make this channel more enjoyable for everyone. So let's get into it. Look it up, and I've been on Booktube for about 8 years. I started right around June, July, so I just had my 8th year anniversary. And yeah, it's been a wild ride. I started Booktube right when I got out of my second college. At that point, I had a bachelor's degree in psychology, and I had a master's degree in theater. And I had gone to a book convention, and I was looking up other people's hauls, and that's how I found Booktube. And I consistently did Booktube, and then slowly I started adding other social media. I added a blog next, which became my most consistent platform that I've done for about the mostly 8 years. Then I did Goodreads, then I did Twitter, then I did Instagram, and then I did TikTok. So I've been on this platform for a while, and I just want everything to be cohesive, so I have one uniformed, experience for you guys when you guys are following me on these various platforms. But in my personal life, I live in New York. I live on Long Island, and I'm a theater teacher in New York City. I work in Astoria. I'm a middle school teacher. I am about to enter my 5th year of teaching. It's been a wild journey with this pandemic. It's been very, very weird. If you can literally go through all my reading vlogs and see how my teaching has changed over the past 3 years. But I also really, really love to go to book conventions. The pandemic was hard because those didn't really exist. I also love to go to Comic-Con. I also am really, really into traveling, and going shopping with my friends. I also really like to do yoga and exercise and bike ride. I also just got a beautiful new puppy. Her name is Cassie. She's sleeping right now. She's a German Shepherd, and she's so cute. If you go on my Instagram, you'll see pictures of her. But that is where I come from. My reading tastes, I will read just about anything, but my focus on what I like to read and what I enjoy reading is young adult and middle grade books. The middle grade, because I do love them. I was a part of the Harry Potter and the Percy Jackson generation, but also because I'm a middle school theater teacher, and I use those books as prizes for my students. And also, I love young adult. I will always love young adult. I sort of blame it on the fact that I didn't have young adult books growing up. We had so select few young adult books when I was growing up that I think I'm just making up for it now in my adulthood. But I'm also dipping my toe in adult fantasy and historical romance and just some other things that I have not really read before. But I've been following a lot of new booktubers that have intrigued me to try some new things, so I'm really excited for that. I've also been participating in the Avengers Reading Challenge for the past couple of years. I've also been a part of the TBR and Beyond reading community where I do their challenges. I am very much a challenge and organized person. I make TBRs every single month. I do wrap-ups. I have my own TBR game. So all that stuff will be on my channel, but nothing is changing. I just want to let you guys get to know me a little bit more. So that's me in a nutshell. I'm hopeful this year we can go back to putting up shows. My first show that I did by myself was Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory back in 2019. Oh my god, it seems like a decade ago. And then the past 3 years, due with COVID and the restrictions and everything, we haven't been able to do a show, but I'm hopeful maybe next year we will be able to get back to that. So yeah, that is me in a nutshell. And now let's answer these questions that I found on this Booktube newbie tag. The first question is, why did you start your channel? And I remember I started my channel because I wanted like a diary of what I was reading and when I was reading. I don't even think when I started that Goodreads really existed. It may have just started or barely started. But I remember there was nowhere for me to like document what I was reading. So I really wanted to like do like a wrap up every month so I could go back and say like, oh, what did I read, and kind of keep track of what I was reading. Um, and that's sort of where my channel came from. It really started out as like a personal diary to me. At that point, like I just remember I would post like 3 videos a day just to like get content up. And it was a really slow ride to sort of get to this point, but now that I have been on this platform for so long, I really do like giving I like giving book recommendations. I like trying new things. I like trying new genres. But originally when I started my channel, it was more like a personal diary for me. And now that like I have Goodreads and other things, I focus more on like, showing you what the reading process is like, what I'm liking, what I'm loving. I love doing wrap-ups, I love doing TBRs, I love doing hauls, I love doing challenge vlogs. But when I originally started my channel, it was more for like a personal diary for me. Now I've progressed a little bit and really like doing recommendations and stuff like that. Question is, what is something unique and fun that you bring to Booktube? Well, I have a couple of projects in the work that I'm not ready to announce yet, but they are going to start this fall, which I'm super excited about because it really is me in a nutshell. So those will be coming in the fall. But just something that I do normally is I normally have a weekly reading vlog, and I normally have like 1 or 2 videos that are focused on recommendations or like TBRs or books that are on my radar, and just under the gem books that people haven't read before, or if you like this, you should read this. So I really do like do recommendation videos, but I also really do like vlogging my reading life because I think that those moments you get like the best footage. Some of my favorite videos to film is like my travel vlogs when I go to like a book convention, or when I go to Universal, or when I go to Disney. Like those are just really, really fun to put up on a channel. And I'm hopeful to do that more in the future. We've been in a pandemic life, so those videos have not been going up recently, but I am hoping to bring them back. But yeah, definitely my weekly reading vlogs, and more just focused on recommendations from middle grade and young adult books, because that's mostly what I read, and sort of out like amplifying smaller authors and smaller series that I don't think get enough love and attention. So that's what I really do like to do on my channel, other than just sharing my reading world with you all. Question is, what are you most excited about for this new channel? I'm really excited to do more recommendation content for you all. And again, I have some projects that I'm working on, but other than that, those are the things that I'm just excited for. Like, I'm excited to sort of give you guys a more consistent schedule. I'm going to upload for you guys Tuesdays and Thursdays every single week, with sometimes a bonus video on Saturday, which would probably be a vlog. So probably 3 times a week, but that's at least the plan right now. But just to give you guys more recommended content, and have a nice balance between like my TBR and my mid-year and my mid-month wrap-up, but also giving you more recommendations, because that's what I really do love to do. And hopefully you guys will pick it up in the comments, and then we'll have a chat about it on my various platforms. Is, why do you love reading? And I love reading because I get to escape into a new world whenever I pick up a new book. This world may be exactly like mine, or it may be totally different from mine. It may be a book that has magic or supernatural elements. It may be a book that is set not in a pandemic. It may be a book that incorporates traveling. It may be a book that challenges what I think about the world. I love reading books from different people's perspectives. I live one experience, but I think it's really important to educate yourself on other people's lives. So I really gravitate towards fantasy books that are written by people of different backgrounds, and I love seeing how they tell stories. I also love these characters that I get to meet and these stories that I get to be told. I remember being a part of generations, like, fandoms where, like, before the internet, we would just talk on message boards, And that just, sense of community of theorizing and predicting and stuff like that. That's stuff that I love. But, the one thing I love about reading is that these characters are yours. Once you read that book, they're yours forever, and they will live inside your heart or live inside your mind, and you will take messages and themes and ideas from these stories that just will transform you as a person. So that's why I love reading, and why if you're watching this video, you probably feel somewhat of the same way. What is the first book or series that got you into reading? And I always read since I could remember. I was always reading, but I think the first series that it was the first series I picked up was the Boxcar Kids, and I just was so invested. I was an only child, so reading a book about people that had siblings was so cool to me because I didn't have that. And also little sister, because again, there was she had a sister, and she had a brother, and they were torn between two houses, and that was an experience I didn't have. So those were that was the first series that I wanted to read more. And they really were sort of loosely connected. I feel like every story, you didn't really need to read the previous story. But for me, I think that's when me as a completist started, I have to read everything in order. But like most people, and she's very, very problematic now, and I'm going to talk about her now, but I'm probably not going to talk about her career very much. But obviously, when I found Harry Potter, that was the series that just took off. Because once I found Harry Potter, and I found that there was a book series that was fantastical, that was all that stuff, it took it to a different level. I found Mugglecast, and I found Leaky, and all of these websites later in my teen years that just took it to a different level. And I know she makes very problematic statements and has beliefs that I don't share. So you might see me talking about the characters on my channel or the stories on my channel, because those stories are Harry, Ron, Hermione are always going to be my favorite characters in old literature, but I also know she's incredibly problematic. So I try my hardest to sort of divorce my channel from her, but I also know that I can't talk about my reading life without talking about Harry Potter, because it is just a part of my identity. I remember staying up till midnight to get that 7th book, and I remember us theorizing and trying to predict what was going to happen. So Boxcar Kids was technically the first book series that I would say I was really invested in, and series wise. But as for predicting and a continual series, Harry Potter was the first one that for me went in 5th grade, where when I started reading it, I was like, okay, this is it. And I followed that for 7 years. And I don't think anything else, except maybe the Percy Jackson series, will ever have that kind of weight to me, because it was the first series that I was so invested in those characters. So I hope that answered your question. Next question is, what are some questions you would ask your favorite booktubers? And I think for me, again, I have a full-time job, but doing this not for numbers. So, I feel just doing the content you want, how do you not care about numbers? I try so hard to not care about numbers, but it is really, really hard. And also, how do you find the strength or the ability to reach out and ask to collab with people? Because that's something I also super struggle with. So how do I insert myself in the booktube community in a way that's not, annoying, I guess. But that's sort of where I am. But I want to know, how do you not care about numbers, and how do you just find the ability to reach out in ways that are more organic and less not organic? So those are the questions I would have. What do you think are some challenges you may have, or that might be hard to overcome, or that you're worried about? I think for me, one of the things is just sort of the ability to sort of reach out and try to find a bunch of people to collab with, because I think that helps people sort of find you, and you not only have people to help you build your community, but also you have people to come up with ideas with and sort of collab with. So that's something. But again, more the not worrying about the numbers thing, and also not falling into ruts where I just create the same content over and over and over again, because I don't like change. And also trying to have a unified vision on all of my platforms. Like, I am doing YouTube, I'm doing my blog, I'm doing TikTok, I'm doing Instagram. So trying to have content that like I can use that makes my bookish identity seem more cohesive. That's something I've always struggled with, just because like I've started every platform at different times. So trying to make sure everything is cohesive is probably my hardest thing. And to just like try new things, and if something doesn't work, it doesn't work, but just to do stuff that I want and try to have a more cohesive identity on the bookternet, I guess. I don't really have an answer to, because whenever I ask my mom this question, she doesn't tell me an answer. She just says, you've always read. The first question is, when did you start reading? And I like don't have an answer, because I just remember reading ever since like I had memories. I always remember wanting a book in my hand. And yeah, I mean, I blame it on that I was an only child, and like in school I really struggled. I had a lot of learning issues in school. And reading was the one thing that I was really good at, and I had a higher reading level than most of the other kids in my class, so like I really struggled in math and everything else, but reading I was good at. So I think because of that, I just knew that I could read and I was really good at it. And because I was an only child and I didn't have any siblings, I found books to escape into. But sort of like growing up, I would read the Boxcar Kids and the Little Sister series, but like when I was in middle school especially, there weren't really like, and even high school, like other than Harry Potter, there wasn't really any like young adult books for me to read. So I would read like Mary Higgins Clark. I would read, murder mysteries. Like that's when my love of murder mysteries really started, because that's what I was reading. And then Harry Potter really picked up, and that sort of wasn't really Harry Potter, it was Twilight. When Twilight hit, Twilight's not my favorite book series of all time, but that was when the young adult industry really started. And I remember getting a lot more options to read at that point, and that was in like late high school. Like I remember reading A-List. So I would say like I always read, but just when I was born in 1987, so there was a lack of like young adult books. You really went from like Boxcar Kids, Little Sister, Harry Potter, and Harry Potter was just this weird thing that I don't think you can ever really describe, to like adult books. And then when I got to the end of high school, then we started having some YA books, and then I just have stuck with YA ever since, because I really do like it. So that's sort of my answer. I think I was probably like 3 or 4 when I started to read, but I just remember always reading. My favorite question, where do you read? I read anywhere and everywhere. I do not leave my house without a book in my hand and a book in my ears. I listen to audiobooks. I physically read. I cannot leave my house without a book. If I leave my house without a book, I feel very, very awkward. I need to have a book in my hand. I commute, I bring my books. When I travel, I bring my books. When I go on vacation, I bring my books. I don't go anywhere without books. So I read everywhere. I have a pretty long commute because I work in the city and I live on Long Island. So it's like a 3-hour commute pretty much the whole, every day I commute 3 hours. So I have a pretty long commute, and I sort of split my commute time between reading physically, listening to some podcasts, and also listening to audiobooks. It just sort of depends on how loud the background noise is, or if people are on top of me on the subway. Honestly, when I was commuting from home, it lessened my listening time a lot because I didn't have that time. But I will read anywhere and everywhere, and if I'm gonna go somewhere, you could bet your butt I have at least 2 books in my bag and a book in my ears. So anywhere and everywhere. But my favorite place to read is outside on a warm fall, spring, summer day. I love reading outside. I also just got a new chair, so I will really read anywhere, but I love reading outside. That's my favorite. Question that I'll answer on the video is, what does your book collection look like? I have a lot of books. You can see behind me, and if I put my camera up, you can see I have a lot of books, but I like books. The Marie Kondo approach does not work for me in my book life, because I just like to collect books, and I like to have a really, really big collection. I prefer physical books to reading on my Kindle, but I'm getting better at reading on my Kindle also. So I just have a really, really big book collection. If you guys want me to go through my whole entire book collection with you all, that would take me a really, really long time, but I'm happily to do it. Last year my room flooded. That was a journey that I documented on this channel. So I have 5 new bookshelves, and like they did this like a year ago, so I do have a lot of room. I have a couple TBR cards, but my room is basically all books and a very, very cute puppy. And I'm going to show you my puppy before I tell you guys my plans for the channel, because she's sleeping right now, but she's quiet, so I can show you her. So I'm going to show you Miss Cassie, and then we'll talk about the plans, or what I'm envisioning for the rest of the summer. Miss Cassie. Hi, Cass. She's very, very sleepy right now, but she's the new baby of the family. I think she's like 8 or 9 weeks old. She really does not like sleeping in this bed, so I'm shocked she slept here, but she's very, very cute. Yeah, that's Miss Cassie. So happy you got to see her. You'll always hear her crying in the background, especially when we lock her in her cages. Oh, she just opened up her eyes. But yeah, so thanks for meeting her. Up this vlog. If you have any questions or any things I didn't answer, please comment below. I will try to answer them. But my plans for this summer, because I am a teacher, I do have the summer off, I am gonna promise you guys 2 videos a week. I'm also going to try to upload on my other socials once a day, especially my blog, my Instagram, and my TikTok. TikTok is new, still getting used to that. But I'm going to try to give you guys at least 2 recommendation themed videos every single week, and a vlog at some point. I'm going to continue to vlog daily. In the summer, you'll probably get more vlogs because I have more time to make them. And I have a couple of fun projects that are in the works, which I'm really excited to share with you guys. They're seasonal, so we'll talk about those when fall hits. But yeah, so Tuesday and Thursdays are going to be my new upload days for YouTube, with a Saturday bonus video. And yeah, let me know in the comments what you would like me to do on this channel. What are some ideas you want, or what are some things you would like to see me try and do? I'm really excited to share my content with you guys and share my reading life with you. Share my beautiful puppy who's stretching in the most oddest way right now. But I hope you guys are staying safe and being well, and comment below what is some videos you would like to see me make in the next couple of weeks. Bye friends. Stay safe and be well, and this is Laura's Bookish Life, signing off.